How's it? Welcome to MegoxCast. I am your host, John, joined by.
Zach, also known as ValourFilms.
All right, yes, for this episode, today we will talk about the Hunger Games film series. Now, Valor, talk a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I live in Australia and I'm into screenwriting and movies. And I do a little film review page on Instagram called ValourFilms. It's kind of easy to find. It's like the first account. But there's just movie reviews on there, cinematography, um, and just little film character studies. Yeah.
No, it's really cool. No, I mean it's really cool. This channel. Well, he'll talk a little bit about that at the end when he like shouts it out and everything. He'll speak highly of it, of course, because it's his channel. Now, let's just go right into it. The Hunger Games, the first one. Well, actually, it's the 74th, right? Or 75th? I don't know. To
Just
be honest, I didn't
74th.
watch this one. I did a while ago, like 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
74th is the first Hunger Games movie, and then the 75th is the next one. And then as a little joke in part two, the guys are like, this is the 76 Hunger Games.
That's funny. But yeah, from what I remember, it's pretty good. But I'll go a little bit into it. I'll talk more about it after Valor talks a little bit more about it, because to be honest, I think when he talks about it, I'm gonna remember a lot of stuff because I did watch it. So technically, it's in my noggin somewhere. So go talk about it, Zech. Sorry, Valor Films or whatever.
Well, basically, the reason there's Hunger Games in the arena with the children is because the capital, which is like this government place, um, they started the Hunger Games as like a punishment and then put all the districts together, like District 1 to 12, or no, District 1 to 13 is what I meant to say. And yeah, so the two people get out of each district get chosen to go into the Hunger Games at the arena to compete.
Hmm. Yeah. To be honest, the rules are a little bit to me, but to be honest, after I watched Catching Fire and Mockingjay Part 1 today, so I understand pretty much the rules. I'd say though, from what I can tell, I feel like a lot of the stuff in these movies kind of will be elevated if you read the books. I don't know if you agree, but
Yeah,
that's what I get, the vibe. And I heard a lot of people say the same thing. They're like, "Oh, I don't even know what's going on. I should have read the books." And I'm
in the
like,
first Hunger Games movies, the first movie is sort of on par with the book, but the second, third, and part two is like they just did their own thing.
"Hmm, oh, that's cool."
Yeah,
Um, no, I'm also zoning out. Don't worry. But yeah, when it comes to the Hunger Games, uh, to be honest, overall, I gotta say this. I don't know if I think I was gonna say Jennifer Lawrence, right? That's the actress
yeah,
name, or is it something? Yeah, she's an all right actor, but I think when she does her like freak out or whatever, it's decent. But like to me, as overall, she always has that like blank bored face,
yeah.
or like staring out into space kind of face. I don't know if you agree, maybe you disagree,
Well,
but
apparently,
yeah.
the actress Isabel Furman, she was meant to be Katniss. The
Hmm.
girl she played the girl from District 2, the one with the knives.
Oh yeah.
So she was meant to be Katniss, but they said she would play a better villain role, so they gave her the girl from District 2, Chloe. That's her name.
I mean, obviously give the like she was probably I think from what I remember she was very aggressive, right?
Yeah, and she also
Yeah, I
played,
mean,
in that Orphan movie, the horror movie.
yeah. Oh. Yeah, as the orphan.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, I feel like the main character kind of has to feel stoic in some ways. So even if it's a girl, so I mean, that's probably why they gave her that role, as the
Yeah,
more quirky or not quirky, but more what's it like I guess intense
yeah,
role, And a lot of great actors, they get the more intense roles, Like, I would feel like actually the leading man or the leading woman, I don't want to be mean, is probably more or less not going to be the main like they're not going to be the best actor there. They're not going to be as good as the side character sometimes or whatever cuz the side character and all that, they have less to work with. They have and sometimes they have more to work with. So
yeah,
it's like they got to have to be really good actors. But I feel like when it comes to them, they don't have there's a lot more room because they have to just play a regular person in some ways so that people can put themselves into that character, which
yeah.
sometimes kind of is dumb, but
Well,
they did that with what's up?
in these movies, there's not a lot of stuff. Like, there's not a lot of things from the books they can put it into like a 2 hour runtime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean that I mean that's why we have Squid Games, for
Yeah,
the pleasure of seeing more people die. Uh, but I would have to say though, yeah, it's just the fact that when it comes to these movies, it's just all about the characters. Of
yeah.
course, of course it does.
Well,
But
I remember,
yeah.
sorry, I remember the first time, well, in high school, I actually had to read the book of Hunger Games and watch the movie. But I remember I first read the book before I even knew we were studying in class. So I'm like, I'm just gonna skip it and I'm not gonna read the book again. I'm just gonna do my own thing, and then I just did the answers and like um the project we had to do about the characters and what was going on in the movie and the book and the differences. So I sort
Hmm.
of did my own thing, and they still passed me. I got like a B, maybe an A. I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, so what you're saying is you you didn't read the book, you watched the movie, or sorry, I didn't
I
get a
remember
little
I
lost.
read the book maybe a
Okay,
month
you
or
did read the
two
book.
before we studied it in class.
Okay, so you were already prepared. That's good.
Yeah,
All right.
so I just YOLO'd it and did my own thing.
Well, I mean, if you already read the book, you kind of don't need to read it again.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, yeah, I actually think that's fine. It's like having a conversation with somebody about the book or whatever a month or two after reading it and having a decent conversation about it because you read the book. So that's fine.
yeah,
Obviously, you don't have to read it with them. But when it comes to this movie, because we are talking, you know, like I guess surface level, not surface level of this movie, just surface level above that surface level. I'm scared, just like some casual with a conversation, which is fine. But when it comes to this movie, though, uh, like the elements, the story elements, I don't know. I think it's it's just I feel like it's very simple, like, but I do like some of the commentary. Though at the same time, you can just say that a lot of other programs and TV shows, movies, they have the same kind of topics. Like us versus the big government.
yeah.
Or something like that.
It's the
So
same with Maze Runner.
what's up?
It's the sort of the same with the Maze Runner movies, the same sort of vibe.
Yeah, I would say so. That's actually what I was going to talk a little bit about too. Like, I think the movies look cheap. A lot of them. I don't know why.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion. I know some people may have the same thing, but I don't know. I just feel like they feel fake. I mean, that's another element too that's supposed to be a part of the movie. Everything's supposed to be fake. Like everyone's deceiving each other on the TVs. Like everything is fine, but not everything is really fine. And people revolt and stuff like that. And it's all about deception and you know
and fighting back.
yeah, and having a pretty face or something. It's just like that's putting up a pretty face. They're just trying to just, you know, do that.
I feel
So,
like in the first Hunger Games and the second as well, but mostly in the first, as we're talking about that, everyone just wants to see the arena fight.
yeah, I agree. Uh, I think it's a little weird, the cornucopia. That's like it feels too on the nose to me. I don't know. Just the person that made it was thinking, hey, why don't we just name it something that means togetherness or something like at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? Oh, what about the cornucopia? It's like
And
a
the way they
juxtaposition.
filmed it is really the camera is really shaky
hmm
as
Yeah.
everyone as the alarm sounds and everyone goes off and gets a weapon or goes and hides.
Yeah. Hey, since you read the book, actually, would you say that the look of the film is kind of how they describe it in the book, or would you say the book describes it very differently?
Um, well, in the first one, yeah, it's sort of the same.
Oh, sort of the same. So like
Yeah,
everything's like all dystopian. Obviously, everything's dystopian, but like everything's like because you notice like the air quality looks really bad in a lot of the places. Besides the
yeah.
does all the rich people just look like you know creeps and clowns or what is that? Like what did they say about the look of them in the books? Did they say they all look fat or did they say they have like weird hair like they actually do in the
Yeah.
movies?
Well, the people sort of look like people from, like, Tim Burton films, like Alice in Wonderland or
Yeah, they do. But do they describe that like that in the book or do they kind
yeah.
of just say, dang, bro, they say, "Oh, they have these weird haircuts. They look like
Well,
they came from
mostly
Fairy
they just
Oddparents,
say
bro."
that everyone wears vibrant colors and, like, everyone's colorful.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. I feel like they were you know, they were taking the piss when they were making the designs. I have to say, I maybe you
Yeah.
like the designs from the
It's
movie
kinda
of the.
distracting.
It is, yeah. That's actually a perfect way to say it because it's like, you know, when you think about it, you just want to add to the story. You really don't want to just make something that's gonna, distract people. When it comes to the like PETA, you know, I'd say, you know, it is interesting though to have PETA kind of like every time I say PETA, I'm like PETA, from Family Guy. But I'd say that it is funny to have him like just be that character that like Katniss has to save. You don't really see that too much
Yeah.
in media. I mean, even nowadays, and I mean, I guess it is becoming a stereotype to have the woman save the man, and it's like so obvious or something. But I don't know. It's kind of funny because he has that personality.
I'm surprised they chose that actor for, Peter from, Josh Hutcherson from, Bridge to Terabithia and, what else? The new Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh, like you're surprised they put him in the FNAF movie, or you're
Yes,
surprised that
but
they
I'm surprised they chose that actor for the Hunger Games.
why? Well, how is he described in the book? Differently?
More bulky and
Yeah, well, let's
yeah.
think about it this way though. Like it's more believable that he's like shorter and that he's like, you know, just a more meek character if he's, on the smaller side and, also not as buff. Yeah, so
Oh, to
I
be
it
honest, he's
makes
actually my favorite actor in the movie, in the series.
yeah, he is pretty good actually, I will have to say. He is he can play that character pretty well. I do have to say. I'm actually not even kidding. He does pretty good in the movies.
Especially in
Uh
part 1, but, we'll get about that. We'll get to that
oh
later.
yeah, we will. We will. But yeah, so when it comes to like the other stuff, I mean, because I actually watched a video about it today, like of Hunger Games 1, so I remember a little bit about it. I like that blonde guy. He's really cool. The drunk guy.
And Woody
Yeah,
Harrelson?
he's actually pretty cool. So wait, his backstory, because I watched the Catching Fire and I caught on to this. So he was a winner of one of the Hunger Games, right? Or no? That's just
Yeah,
the vibe I got because remember they said like, oh, all victors have to come back or something.
yeah, he's the victor of the 50th Hunger Games. I'm pretty sure it was, but
Dang.
apparently I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, he outsmarted the last person with like this force field axe, and when he threw the axe, it went onto the force field and hit the other person.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. That's another thing too with the force field and all that stuff. Like the whole technology thing throws me off a little bit because it's like it feels like it's half done. Every time I look at this show, one thing the vibe I get is that show, The Boys. And the thing I don't really like too much about that show is it feels like cheap. It's good. It's really good. All the effects are really cool. But their world building and look, I don't know. I can't full on believe it because it feels kind of like how this movie feels to me. It's
Yeah,
like partially made. The Boys is definitely better, I think, aesthetic wise and other stuff. But I think when like for example those like those TVs that they have and the TVs that they have in one second. The movies that they have in you know uh or not even the movies, just the screens, the screens, they just
yeah.
look like completely, just like holograms, look like holograms, you know
No, I get what you mean.
so hmm so it's kind of annoying that
What do you think of like the district? Well, where Katniss and Peter are.
uh what do you mean by that,
What do you
like
think
their
of the
relationship?
lifestyle and the environment?
Oh, that stuff. I don't know. It's a little showy, obviously. To be honest, I just wish just everything about the aesthetic was just changed because it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like enough. I guess I think they should have went fully into one direction and do that. Like even like whatever that director is, like Baz Luhrmann or whatever, like that guy, he would have done a fantastic job, I think, as
Yeah. I mean, they
the
did change
director.
director from the first Hunger Games movie, and then the second
Yeah,
one, third
the
and
second
fourth.
one definitely because I saw some clips obviously from the first one just to get a vibe. The second one, the look is definitely better, I'd say. Um,
Yeah.
so, but I mean,
I
obviously the
feel like the arena
cinematography
is
is
more
not,
exciting
but
in the second.
yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the second in a second,
Yeah.
in a second. But I was gonna say, yeah, the characters in the first one, they're solid. Obviously, this is like the only Hunger Games in the movies. Obviously, there's the second one, the 75th one, but that one doesn't really count, and we'll get into that later. So they kind of had to just throw all their shots in there, and I don't know, like the killings and all that. That's another thing too. It wasn't that violent. Wasn't that
Yeah.
violent. So I think they fixed that a little bit more in the second one. But to be honest, it's never been that violent. It's just been kind of
Remember the
violent.
first one with spoiler alert where those mutt dogs eat the evil guy, Kato from District 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they
Yeah, I
just
guess that's
maul
pretty
him to
violent.
death.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. But yeah, I'd say overall, I don't know. It's a good. I thought the ending with like him eating them like threatening to eat the berries was interesting, but then I just always think, how has this not happened before in the Hunger Games? Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff where it's like, how has this not happened in the Hunger Games? How has there not been like the same people from the district like alive at the end? Like, oh, why has there not been like a kind of like a, I guess, what's it called? Like a like ruling the system or messing with the system, because it's like, oh, if you put your name in there, you get perks or something, and oh, if you get picked, you win, you get food for everybody. And I'm like, why doesn't everyone just like take advantage of that, and then like also
Yeah.
like make one guy like the biggest boy, and then he could kill everybody. Once he gets the, I guess that they do that a little bit because you see those bigger boys later
Yeah.
on, the
Also,
strong guys.
Rue's death is really sad.
Oh yeah, yeah. The little girl, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, she's yeah, definitely. I mean, that was interesting because it's like it was kind of like a parallel to her sister, kind of, right? Obviously not
Yeah.
exactly, but just like, oh, taking care of that. And it's also really sad, and we'll talk a little bit about this, I guess, in Catching Fire, that there are some characters that you don't feel like should be in the Hunger Games, but are, and then they die, and it's
Yeah, it
sad.
just shows that, like, no one cares about the government in the movies, like, the capital doesn't care about what happens to the people,
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing too.
even
Why
if
did
they're
they
really
like
young or old.
exactly? And it's like another, that was another thing too. Why did they just throw like all these um you know uh like I guess obstacles along their way, like wolves and fire, and they still want like someone to survive at the end. Like they could just be miscalculated and then accidentally kill somebody. Like that, like the
Yeah.
last person alive. Like they could kill a bunch of people. I guess if you I mean, I don't know. It also just makes it rigged kind of. I think they should have just let them all fight. But I mean, to be honest, I don't even think the people that run the Hunger Games take the Hunger Games seriously because they just
Like,
see it as like a kind of a
it
shit
sort of
show.
matches to the ending where they're about Peter and the Katniss, they kill Cato, and then they're about to eat the berries because only one can survive, and then the guy in who controls the Hunger Games, like the game maker, that's what it's called, says tells them to stop, and then tells them they're the winners because they're basically cheating by eating the evil berries,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. The deadly
No, no, it
berries,
does. Yeah,
Nightlock. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. Overall, it's a pretty good film. I would probably not watch it more than twice. I would only watch it this one time because I watched these other ones and I want to know the vibe and the last movie. But
Yeah.
besides that, I don't know if I'd watch these really again, but I can see the appeal. I might even read the books because I do want to read, so it gives me an excuse. And you said that even the stuff in the books like aren't even enough to put into a movie, really. So I'm guessing the books are kind of short.
Yeah.
They're
I
long, but
mean,
they're
the
probably
first
like
one's
short.
pretty much you can read it in a day.
Dang. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's probably would you say the book is better than the movie, or would you say that the movie is better than the book? Like, do you get the same experience, or do you get a
Probably
different
the
experience?
book.
You like the book more?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll
The
check it
movie
out.
kind of, upon rewatch, like, the movie's good, but it kinda gets boring every time you, like, rewatch it. Like, the
Mm.
first few times is fine, but it
Yeah.
loses its vibe.
No, no, I totally get it because it's like rewatchability for some films. It's hard when it only has like one gimmick or something like that. So yeah, how
Yeah.
it is.
But I like
But
how the
yeah,
first one, it just started this because there's a lot of fans, like, the teenagers, um, it just started, like, a fan base, the movies,
it's funny.
after the first one.
Yeah, that does be happening. I don't even know what I'm saying. All right. All right. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure, Catching
All
Fire,
right. Yeah, Catching Fire. Yeah. I mean,
the
that would
best one.
that would really hurt to be honest if you try to catch fire. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, geez, like third-degree burns all over your hand, maybe even first. You know, I mean, that's the closest you're gonna get to first. That's such a mess. It's not even funny. Okay, we're gonna
I like
pretend I said that. I don't
Well,
know. I was
everyone
trying
thinks
to.
the second one's the best. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
there's more world building and the arena's more
Mhm.
exciting, like the clock arena with the water.
Yeah, that was all clever actually. I liked the whole clock thing. When it came to just like the action stuff, I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, it's still a little goofy, but I like that one character. Like, what's that guy's name? The blonde guy.
I finished.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Yeah.
He's he's a really like intelligent, smart guy that wants to just help people. I
I do
guess I
like
don't
how
know.
the threats, like in the arena, there's it's like more deadly, like with the fog that hurts your skin.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty sure
actually
that's
felt
what it
like
is.
I thought it wasn't too long the movie, but I felt like it could have been longer in some areas, but not
Yeah.
like not don't make the movie longer because it was actually a good length. But I feel like just I don't know, cause something about like how I didn't really get to know some of the characters kind of sucked, but at the same time, it wasn't really about that because of the ending, when they break
Well, I
out.
mean,
So, what's up?
they I think it was an hour and a half till you got to the arena in the
Yeah,
movie.
so it took them a while, yeah. And a lot of that, I mean, it actually moved by pretty fast, to be honest, all that part. It kind of moved fast for me. I mean, some people it didn't move that fast, but I thought it moved pretty fast. And I actually think that was gonna be something I said. I don't like Katniss in this movie in some ways because it's like Katniss is like, oh, let's just leave, and then all the guys are like, no, let's just stick with this and fight the system,
Yeah.
But like
And
both of
it's
them want
mostly
to do
about
it
her
differently.
PTSD from the first.
Yeah, both of them want to do it differently. Like Gale wants to stay with the families and all that, stay in District 12, and then what's his name? PETA just
Peter.
wants to
Yeah.
yeah, PETA wants to just what's it called? Kind of
He
just
just
go
wants to
along
hook up
with
with
the
Katniss.
okay. Yeah, that too. But that's another thing too. I didn't like that part about it. Mainly just due to the fact that, you know, she's obvious. I mean, she doesn't really owe him anything, but at the same time, that was one thing I was gonna say. I think that Katniss as a character should realize, that she should probably try to get to know PETA better, or at least get to be more friendly with him because that's the
Yeah.
person that she has to hang out with regardless. Like she can't really hang out with Gale. I'm actually surprised Gale survived by the end of the movies because I thought he was gonna die. To be honest with you,
I don't hate
um,
his character though. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't hate or love his character, but I do think I'm just happy that he was willing to stay there and help. I mean, a lot of the like I was saying before, a lot of the male characters or even the some I guess there's just not a lot of female characters really, but a lot of them just
Yeah.
want to stick around and like protect all the homies. There's not a lot of people that just pussy out or just chicken out of the thing or just are cowards. There are some, but
Yeah.
I don't really
One thing
notice
I
them
like
to
about
begin.
Gale's character in this one, in Catching Fire, is the scene where he gets whipped. Like,
Oh
it
yeah, yeah,
adds more to his character.
yeah. That sucked because I was like, that's another thing too. Why is that guy like? Why are the peacemakers like above like some of the people? Because like that blonde guy should be like it's like Justin Timberlake walking up to like a cop or something.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course,
the
a cop
peacemakers are
has
controlling
yeah,
the district.
and also the cop. I guess that's a really dumb example. I mean, imagine Justin Timberlake or just some famous actor or whatever just goes up to a police officer and expects them to stop harassing somebody. It's not really gonna
Yeah.
stop anything. But I guess the peacemaker is just really dumb because it's like what did this I mean, I guess this guy did jump on one of the the that's another thing that I don't like about the movies. They don't really talk too much about the people inside those white costumes.
Yeah.
Maybe they do in like the first one or the last one, but I noticed that they don't really talk about them. They're just there. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have talked about like, oh, what do they eat? Where do they drink? Where do
Yeah.
they go
I'm
to the
pretty sure
bathroom?
they're from District 2. That's where they live. Like the peacemakers, even though they're from the capital,
Mm,
their base is in District 2 because
that's
District
pretty
2 is like
based.
the first few districts are the most richest ones.
Dang. So what happened to District 1 then? It just got
That's still
meh?
like higher up.
Dang. Yeah, but that was the but I from what I remember reading in the last movie, District 2 is the last one that was controlled by the Capitol. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing District 1 just got lucky, I guess.
Also,
Um,
spoilers at the end of the second one. Yeah, District 12. There's it's blown up and everyone dies, and then that's why they moved to District 13 in part one. But yeah,
yeah, we'll talk about that too. And I was surprised about that as well, like the whole District 13 stuff. But what I'd say is that yeah, I just it's kind of cool with the dome. It kind of reminded me of the Truman Show kind of thing. I think
yeah.
wasn't it a dome in the first one, or was it not a dome, or was it
I,
something else?
I think it was just a dome around it. I don't know. It
Okay,
didn't really say. Only in the second. Plus, it's
okay,
been a
just in
while
the
since I've
second
read the
one,
books.
yeah, yeah. In the second one, they're definitely in a dome and
Yeah, because it
everything,
breaks
and
and at the
yeah,
end where she with the lightning tree and she uses a bow to destroy it.
yeah. It sucks too that that one guy, the guy that like designed all of her suits, just died. You
Yeah.
know that sucks. So
What I
it's
do
like,
like
what?
about the second one is the game maker. What's his name?
They all seem so unfair, you know, like they seem worse than in the first one, the Capitol. That's what I noticed about the second movie.
Yeah. Give me a
They
sec.
seem a lot worse than in the first one. And then the second movie, oh actually I don't know. The other movies they're I mean, obviously they're doing something else. I feel
Yeah, the
like
game
the
maker in the second, Plutarch, it's revealed that he's been a part of the rebellion all along. So
Mm.
he's actually a good guy, even though he's making the arena in the second.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, so is he the guy that made the arena in the first movie then, or is that someone
No, that
else?
was someone else because the one in the game maker in the first one, he got killed by the president's no for letting Peter and Katniss win.
Dang. I mean,
That's why there's a
what?
new game maker.
Yeah, and then the game maker is kind of like a mole, so that's good that they have him. Um, but yeah, I'd say or a rat, I guess, but we don't consider him a rat because you know he's a good guy. And then the clock thing is kind of cool, but I'd have to say I don't understand because they're saying like you know like certain things would come up
Different
when I mean
times.
I guess it yeah I guess it wouldn't matter though because but it would say it would happen in the wedge, but I was gonna say like if they were there any longer they could have just stayed in the middle, I think, and
Yeah,
then just wait till
I
it
mean
gets
half of
like
the apparently half of if I remember correctly, half of the people in the second Hunger Games movie was in on it in the rebellion. So they didn't even want to kill Katniss.
oh, that's
Half of
cool.
them were trying to protect her.
Yeah, the electric tree, it's interesting. I was thinking too, like when the tree gets electrocuted, it's just you know, that's the hour and when it comes to it, like they were trying to like, oh, let's you know, spin them around a little bit, get them confused. I'm like, it doesn't matter. The tree is still gonna get electrocuted every hour. So it
Yeah,
doesn't even matter what you do with that clock thing. And then they already figure it out anyway because they're like, hey, let's just electrocute every single thing that touches water. And then they're like, okay. And then they try that, but that
one
gets
thing I
messed
like
up.
about the second one and the rest of the movies is the romance is they kind of ignore it, but in Twilight
Oh, would you
it's
say this is
there's too
like
much romance.
would you say this is like the movie that you can take your boyfriend to, Hunger Games, but with
Yeah,
Twilight you're
probably
just like
they like action, so
like action. So yeah, this is definitely a good date movie, I'd say, for those girls that just like this kind of stuff. Um,
I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot
that's
of
like
fangirls about these movies.
yeah, there are. It's like weird because I feel like they only fangirl just because of the actors and actresses. in the movie. They don't really care too much about the books. I mean, they do in some capacity, but you know what I'm saying. I think when the
Yeah.
book movies came out, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." I don't know. I The whole movie was actually well paced, and I don't know why, because like it sounds like it wouldn't be, because the first hour and a half is about like nothing that interesting. But I
It's
guess
just
it's
about
just
District 12, a whole an hour
yeah.
and a half.
But I guess it's just it kind of moves by pretty fast, and they kind of go into stuff where it's like, oh, now like, you know, we got to read off the cards or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I feel
One thing that's really sad about the movie, like Catching Fire, is the part where
yeah.
the old lady dies. She runs into the fog, sacrificing herself.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, that was oh, I have
Mags.
something to say about that. That was stupid. It was so stupid that she did that, and I know you may have your own opinion about it, but it's like, just run. I know you can barely walk or whatever, but like, don't just kill yourself.
She's getting a piggyback by Finnick.
I know, and they needed to have like PETA like carried, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kill myself by
What I
going
hate
into
about
the.
Peter in the first two is he's always getting injured. He's only
That's
really
not even my
interesting.
problem. That's not even my problem with this scene. It's just like the fact that she could have survived, but nope, she just said, "Nah, fam. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna risk it." Because we knew that like most likely she was gonna die because she could barely walk or whatever. Because that's why she was being carried. But I'm like, you you could at least try. I
I
mean,
mean, she was
later
like
on, I think
80.
they, yeah, and later on, I think they fall down um like a ravine. They could have she could have just
And then the
stayed alive
monkeys
a little
come.
bit longer. Yeah, I guess she wouldn't have survived the monkeys, but at the same time, you know, that would have
Yeah.
been when she died. The whole thing with the whole camouflage thing was weird because there were these two people that were mentioned that I guess camp the entire game, right? Until
Yeah.
the end. And then there was that one that was there and apparently saved PETA. I don't know, that was a little dumb, I guess,
It was
because
like
it's
Fortnite.
yeah, they do kind of just do that like Fortnite. I was gonna say too, the TikTok thing wasn't that annoying to me, but I know some people thought it was annoying. I'd say that I wish I got to know that lady a little bit more because I know we later find out more about that like scientist, but
Yeah, well,
or
the old
smart
lady,
guy.
she volunteered for an ex-girlfriend who later gets captured by the Capitol. So
Okay.
she volunteered the old lady. So I mean, you kind of knew she was gonna die anyway.
Yeah. Wait, so the old lady volunteered or what happened?
Yeah. The old
Oh, okay.
lady volunteered for Finnick's girlfriend who you meet in part one
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, the
with the red
red-haired
hair.
one, right? Wait, so hold on. So the red-haired wait, so she just was kidnapped by the Capitol. She wasn't even in the games. So
She
did they
was
do
only
that?
kidnapped at the end of the second one.
I know, but did they do that for like did they do that just so that they could like maybe get Finnick or whatever, or they must have done
No,
that to do
they're only
like.
doing it to get information about the rebellion and Katniss.
Oh, okay. Wait,
So
does Finnick
Peter,
know about the rebellion?
yeah, he was in on it. That's
Yeah,
why
he
he's trying
was
to
in on it,
protect
but
Katniss.
like, but how does the girlfriend? How would the girlfriend know anything about the rebellion?
I think she was in on it too. It's been a while.
Okay, I don't know. It's just whack. But I don't know when
It's
she
explained
shot.
better in the book.
I would assume so. I gotta guys read the book. I mean, I'll read the book. When she shot uh the shield, I was like, oh my gosh, like, bruh. I don't know. That whole thing was dramatic, where like all
And
the things
President
are
Snow's
falling
looking
on
in the
top of her.
on the TV, wanting her to kill Finnick, saying "Let it fly," and then she
Yeah.
doesn't.
But also that stuff that was, like, falling on top of her and all that stuff, not on top of her, but you know what I'm
That was
saying.
kind of bad CGI.
And, like, weirdly, like, melodramatic. It was kinda stupid. And, I don't know. It was giving me some Truman vibes, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, that scene was just weird, and I don't
I
know. The
mean, the
movie
second
is
one's my favorite, but
yeah,
it's kind of the ending's kind of it ends on a cliffhanger.
it does.
Yeah,
It's it's just little little whack, to be honest with you.
where Gale says there's no District 12 and then cut the credits.
Oh my god, bro, I can't be asked. You're correct about that. Um,
What would
but
you say is better, number 1 or 2 so
I
far?
definitely say since I didn't watch one, but I can get the vibe of one, I'd say two is better actually. Mainly just due to the fact of the pacing I'd feel. But I do feel like I might like one more if I rewatch just because of the first the 74th Hunger Games, but the first Hunger Games for us to watch. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I
I
guess it
remember it
just
started
depends.
like, these movies started like Minecraft Hunger Games and stuff.
Yeah.
It just started a lot of nostalgia.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say, or do you want to move on to Mockingjay Part One?
Nah,
Oh, what's
what
up?
I'll say will be in part 1.
All right. Yeah. Part One, Mockingjay Part One. So, I I really I thought this one was kind of boring. Very
It's kinda
long,
bad.
even though it's 20 minutes shorter than Catching Fire. I felt like it was 20 minutes longer.
I feel like it was 3 hours, part
Felt so
1.
long. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Like there are some movies that just feel really long. That was actually the thing I was going to say about Across the Spider-Verse. I thought that felt really really long.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that some movies just aren't paced at like well at all.
And
And
it's weird how people like, they put part 1 and part 2, same with Harry Potter and some other movies.
oh, like above the yeah, I know what you're saying. Like they're the best ones.
Yeah, like, they just throw everything into both parts from the book and try to rush it, and then everything's left badly.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be like that, You should just, have the, you know, uh just take your time. But at the same time, it is kind of weird to just have like four movies. I mean, just have more than four movies because I feel like a trilogy would have been better. To be
Yeah.
honest, it would have actually been a lot better if they had the first Hunger Games like mixed with the second one. But like,
Yeah.
because like, let's be honest here, that whole thing with I mean, I guess it was interesting, the stuff where it's like, oh, they're basically their new couple or whatever, they're the new symbol. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they could have made it two. Maybe it is better two separate movies, but I think it just feels weird because the next movie just feels so, like long and everything. So
Yeah.
maybe they could
What
have
el
mixed Catching Fire and Part One, but like just what I'm saying by that is just push everything that happened before the Hunger Games in Catching Fire, and then put a good amount of the elements in Part One, and then just make that a movie.
yeah. What I like about part 1, well, part 1 is basically Peter's being captured and then she realizes that he's being tortured and they're telling him what to say on the TV.
Yeah,
And
that is a lot of the movie,
and
to
then
be
at the
honest with
end,
you.
they're gonna
Oh
rescue
yeah,
Peter, and then you realize he's been,
brainwashed.
tortured and then brainwashed, and then he goes to kill Katniss at the end.
Yeah, that actually made me laugh out loud when he jumped at her. I couldn't go gasp. I could only go
Good
because it was
character
just
development
so.
there.
But like, why that was so goofy. I mean, let's be honest here. It's just some guy just jumping at Katniss, being like, "Ruff," and it's like
Then he tricks.
I didn't expect it. That was the thing. I didn't expect it to happen. It was literally the funniest thing I saw that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that was really dumb.
The only
I
point of part 1 is basically them Katniss and everyone filming stuff to send over to the capital so they can like start a war. Sort of.
Yeah, that was a lot of it. I noticed a lot of this these movies are just about like in some ways the movie business or the even the like the TV show business, the cable business, I guess.
Yeah,
Just
like
all
Truman
the
Show still.
yeah, and I felt a little weird. But that's the thing too, the technology for like filming people, that's too goofy, bro. Like I don't know, like I don't get how you can get Blade Runner and like dystopia all in the same. I mean, obviously Blade Runner is dystopia, but I don't know. I just feel it just doesn't feel right to have these like it kind of looks kind of older, all the like aesthetic, but then you throw in some uh you know weird, you know, camera or weird TV, and it's like I don't know, the maybe it's just because the rich just have it all good, and
Yeah.
maybe
Well, this
it
one
looks
mostly
better there,
focuses
but
on
still.
the propaganda of the war against the capital and the districts. Well, District 13 is like the rebel base.
Definitely. Yeah, I thought that was interesting just having them as a like a rebel base and all that. I mean, didn't they say like, "Oh, I thought you all died," and then they were like,
Yeah,
"Nope, we didn't
because
die."
apparently District 13 got blown up, and then they realize it's there.
Yeah, and then District 12 got blown up. I feel
What
like
I hate
District
about Part
11 was
1,
like, yeah,
actually, everyone hates about Part 1 is it's their least favorite, is like the slow pace
yeah, that's
Part
what I was
1.
saying too. It's like, yeah, it is really slow, and it's just dumb. I thought it was interesting to see how many people are just willing to die for the cause. I thought that was interesting. Just people are just running out, getting shot. I'm like, yo, bro, what? I've never seen this in like any movie where someone's just willing to just get shot. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
Can I tell
They
you a
got a
fun
lot of casualties. What's up?
do you know Moist Critical?
Oh yeah, wasn't he in? I thought he
Yeah,
was in
he's in
part
Part
two.
1.
Oh, he's in part one. Okay.
Yeah, you can see
Then,
the back of his head,
oh
like,
my
it's
gosh.
filmed. Apparently, he was actually in Part 1.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
makes
wonder if he got
everything
paid,
better, probably, but
but,
maybe not.
that
Maybe
hospital
they.
scene with everyone raising their hands, like the symbol of Katniss, that kind of moved me, and I reckon even though I hate Part 1, like, it's the worst one, I think it's Jennifer Lawrence's best performance in Part 1.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. That whole thing with her waking up because that was also in this movie, but it was like a flashback. That was kind of stupid, where she like wakes up and has a nightmare. I
Yeah,
still can't with that scene. It's
they did
it's
that with
creepy.
the second one, the same
Yeah,
thing.
dumb. But
The ending where, she wakes up out of hospital after Peter attacked her,
yeah,
and then she goes to where Peter's, room is in the hospital, and all she can see is him having a weird, um he's just
panic
hitting his
attack or
head
something.
while he's handcuffed on the bed.
Yeah, it felt really sad because we've seen this character for so long, and now he's
I
like,
felt like a horror movie at the end.
yeah. I mean, even the reflection was kind of cool. The
Yeah,
reflection on the mirror, that was a cool shot. I don't know. I
and
feel
I
like these
reckon
movies just do what's up.
one thing I reckon the part 1 mostly is about the relationship more with, Katniss and her sister.
Yeah. Oh, that was another thing too. That was stupid where she was like, they were gonna close the doors. What were you thinking? And then she's like, oh, I had to save him. And I'm like, I'm gonna slap her.
And
I
then
know
they
I shouldn't
bombed the
slap
place again.
children, but like, oh, maybe in part two, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I would have just slapped her, because it's like, why would you just grab your cat? Like I get it, but at the same time, you know, she cares about you, and you just were grabbing the cat when like a serious lockdown was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just
She's the
upsetting.
sister is only there just for everyone to get emotional. That's why that's why her character exists, but I won't spoil anything till part 2.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, yeah, just part one's just long. and aggravating, I'd say.
The
It was funny
cinematography
that
is kind of better in part one, though.
it is definitely better in part one than in Catching Fire. Catching Fire is literally like, how do we film this as economically fast as possible and not think about artistic merit at all? But I don't know. I know it's cool that all those people were singing the song that Katniss was singing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, there was
I
some
liked how
dumb
everyone
stuff.
was like, everyone started fighting back.
Yeah, there's some dumb stuff though, like Gale getting upset at PETA. I understand that like they want PETA to just like say, let's all rally, like let's go against the government. But I'm like, he's playing the safe game, all right? And
Yeah.
it's good that he's playing that game because
I
the
mean, there's
rep,
not much he can say because he's got like a knife to his throat.
yeah. And I'm like, but he said that like even if I had a knife to my throat, I would still. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. All right, you know that the rebellion is doing their thing, and that anything you do, although may seem hurtful, will not be as even close to as impactful as what you do at the rebellion. So I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
dumb.
What'd you think of the
Um,
costume in part one, like the Mockingjay that
that
her
was kind of goofy.
stylist made?
That was a little goofy. I'm sorry,
It looks
but it was kind of cool, but
they could
just
have just
goofy.
stuck with the costume from number one, but or
Yeah,
two, but they just made it into a war kind of armor.
yeah. I don't know. I thought it
And the
was
guy in the
funny that
wheelchair,
they.
the scientist, he made
Yeah,
the bow and arrows.
that was cool. Yeah, I thought one thing I thought was really funny was the like the CGI like campaign thing they made for her, where she's like, let's go attack them, and she
Yeah.
has to say it multiple times. That was funny.
And then
Um,
Woody Harrelson comes out because
yeah.
he's not in the movie for like half an hour, and then he finally shows up.
Then he's sober. I literally thought he was capping when he said, "Hey, we're gonna be able to save PETA," or
Yeah.
something like that.
I
Because I
really
was
liked
like,
how
"Yeah,
the
yeah,
rescue was filmed.
yeah, that was cool." But
It reminded me
thankfully
of
he
like
wasn't.
found footage.
Yeah, thankfully he wasn't lying, so that's cool. And yeah, it was cool that they had the found footage because everything else in the movie just looks fake, and that kind of adds to its realness.
Yeah, but how
Um,
did he know they were there rescuing Peter? President Snow.
I don't
He
know.
like
He probably
knew
has a
they were
third
there.
eye or something.
Yeah.
He kind of just gets lucky. I mean, let's be
Plus, the
honest here.
building was turned off. There was no cameras because they cut the power.
Yeah, a lot of plot holes in these movies.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say before we go to part two?
Yeah. I do like how it sets up part two there, like the war.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I like that too. It's kind of like the Empire Strikes Back of Hunger Games.
Or the um, uh, part one is basically similar to Deathly Hallows Harry Potter part one.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
was just saying that kind of gave me some Empire Strikes Back thing because of the rebellion. But
Yeah.
Mockingjay Part Two. Um, I didn't watch this one, but I did read like a description. Um, uh, how about you just go into it and then I'll add to it.
Well, basically, part two continues on from part one, like with Peter's being brainwashed, but like he's slowly getting better, but he's still having like little moments and trying to
Yeah,
attack Katniss.
yeah.
And
Like I said, I did watch this in 2015, but I don't remember. But
yeah,
I do
it's
have
been
to
years.
say the things I remember about it is just the fact that I was in there for a long time, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of part one. But I think it might go a little faster than part one.
What'd you
But I
think
don't
of
remember too much.
I
What?
reckon the ending's the best where Katniss goes to kill President Snow and then kills Queen instead. It was kind of like a
Yeah,
nice twist.
yeah, that's cool because it's
But then
like
he coughs on his own blood and then gets like walked on by the crowd. So,
that's a little dumb. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's getting walked over by the. I guess it's like because it's like they see him as no more better than like a doormat or something. I don't know.
yeah.
So maybe that's why they did it. But when it comes to her though getting shot, I thought that was kind of interesting. I'd say that it was, it was set up pretty nicely in part one.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
And
she's
she
trying
was the
to
real
be,
villain.
yeah, she's trying to be a good person, but nope, she's not. She's willing to do what she can to do what she can. So
I'm just gonna go
it's
ahead and
not
spoil it,
really,
but
yeah. What's up?
Queen was the one who, um, dropped the bombs on, Prim,
Dang.
but then it's revealed that Gale made the bombs, so he technically killed Katniss's sister Prim as well.
Gale, dude, that's why they don't do it at the end of the
Yeah.
Mockingjay Part 2,
So
because
she thinks Gale was technically responsible as well.
so that
Katniss's
means
sister's
that
death.
Katniss hates Gale now.
Yeah. But then he just goes to District 2 and helps out at the end. And
That's why
Peter
they don't date
yeah,
anymore.
Peter slowly gets better and he gets back to normal, and then him and, Katniss marry and have kids, and then that's the end.
And then they're like, "Let me tell you about the first." I mean, not. Doesn't she say like, there are worse games you could play, child?
Yeah. And then they're just
Something
talking about everyone who died.
that's messed up.
But what I like about part 2 is, like, when, Woody Harrelson's character, Haymitch, and Katniss, like, they're saying goodbye. It's, like, really bittersweet.
Mm, yeah, I think I remember that actually. Weirdly enough, when I watched the movie so long ago. I don't know why I even watched it. I don't even know why we went to watch Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. That was a weird, like,
Also, part
time of
2,
my
that
life.
scene in the sewers was like a horror movie with those Slender Man monsters in a sewer.
Yeah, that was a little dumb. That's another thing too. A lot of these movies, like, they have like these projections or whatever that are kind of real, And I'm like, why can't you just project a cow and then make a steak? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, it's kind of dumb because I don't know if they're just projections or if they're real. Like, are these like wolves real? Apparently, they can affect you, like eat you. So they have like digestive systems. I don't know. So dumb.
And then Finnick
But
sacrifices himself, and the monsters in the sewer kill him.
dude, yeah. So wait, hold on. Were they created by the same technology that the guy did with the dome, or was that a
Yeah.
completely different thing?
No, they're the
Okay.
same. They're mutts. So there's dog mutts in the first one. The second mutts are the monkeys in the in the second, and then part 2 has these sewer Slenderman ones.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
But what I like about the part 2 is where, Finnick says, "Welcome to the 76 Hunger Games" as a joke. And because it's basically the Hunger Games, but a war version.
Oh, that's funny.
And then they're locked in the city, and they're trying to escape, and then the Capitol comes and blows up the building, but they're hiding, and everyone thinks they're dead.
Mm. No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of people still hate part 2, but it's better than part 1.
I would assume so. I mean, it's part two, the
It's the final
ending.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes down to it,
I think
Mockingjay Part
Peter's
2. Yeah.
Peter's the best character,
Yeah,
even though
he
he
is.
got brainwashed. He still went
He
back to
is.
normal.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad of a character. I liked him overall
Or
through
actor.
these movies, and the actor too. I gotta say, like, he was more fun than Katniss was, and all that. Even though I don't like his simpy moments sometimes. He is
Yeah.
overall pretty good. But yeah.
What do you
What's
think
up?
of his, what do you think of the actor going into Five Nights at Freddy's?
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's reviving his
Weird
career because
casting
that
there
movie's gonna
as a
get a lot of.
security guard.
Hmm, I don't know. Isn't he Michael?
Uh, is that the security guard?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, he's William Afton's son. Because to be honest, the person that's William Afton's son is supposed to look kind of like a person that's like the average man that can't protect himself. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
What did you think of the ending for part 2? Nice.
Yeah, because I saw a
What
little
did
bit about that. I'd
you yeah.
say I mean, I guess it wraps up things pretty nicely, but I think it's a little too nice. I actually think that Gale wasn't that bad of a guy, but at the same time, I understand why they did it. It's because, from the beginning of the movies, you think, oh, it's gonna be Gale and you
Yeah,
know,
like looking after the family.
yeah, Katniss having kids
And
or
then you
whatever.
learn he
Nope,
made bombs that killed
Peeta.
Katniss's sister.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I guess it just came out of left field. I guess you know.
Yeah.
It should have been like maybe slowly developed as the movies went along, but no, they
And
didn't
it's
really
kind
do
of
that.
unrealistic in the last two because she gets shot in this one. When they go to
Mhm.
District 2, she gets shot, and then, like, all this stuff happens to her, but she's never dying.
That's so stupid. Yeah. um. Do you wanna rank them?
Yeah, I
All
reckon
right,
part
let's
2
rank
was a
them.
good ending.
Yeah, let's rank them. So, what's your ranking?
Catching Fire is the best, then
Yeah,
number
I actually
1,
agree. hmm
then part 2, then part 1.
Okay, so what? So you're saying Catching Fire, Hunger Games, then which one? Part two, and then part one, or that's what
Yeah,
you're saying, right? Okay,
yep.
I'd say so. Um, Maybe if we watch them, I'll like Hunger Games more than Catching Fire. But I do have to agree with you. Catching Fire is better than Mockingjay Part One, so I have to put Catching Fire definitely above Mockingjay Part One. Part Two, I'm definitely just from the vibe I get. I do have to say that it does seem better than Part One.
It's too, like,
So
anticlimactic.
yeah, so I don't know. I agree with you that
I
because
reckon
it's like
that
yeah,
Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 was a better ending than part Mockingjay Part 2.
oh yeah, definitely. Um, but yeah, when it comes to the other thing you wanted to talk about, the discussion of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Do you want to go
The
into that a
prequel.
little bit? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool
so
to see
basically,
Peter Dinklage in there.
yeah, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is basically it's still a book, but it's a prequel about the young President Snow, who was evil in the movies, but he's young and then falls in love with this girl named I think her name's Lucy Bird, and she's sort of like Katniss, the same vibe, but she talks to animals and I don't know, she's kind of weird. And then
Yeah,
they get into the first Hunger Games, which is like this.
what's the tenth
Uh,
one? From what I
yeah,
heard.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's the tenth one. So, because I think they were started when he was like 8 years old. Snow.
Yeah, well,
So,
this he's 18 in Songbirds and Snakes,
mhm,
so he's like it's before he became president.
yeah. So
But I mean, I'm interested to see how they do the arena because it's like a gladiator kind of thing,
that's kind of cool.
and it looks like a coliseum or something.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, did see a little bit about the look. I think I like the look a lot more of
Like the look
Ballad of
looks more
Songbirds and Snakes.
80s
Yeah, I'd
because
say
there's a
so.
photo of President Snow with like just a normal white shirt and jeans, so it's more like realistic. Because
Yeah,
Hunger Games movies are set in the future, but this is the past.
I mean, yeah, but even the look of the past looks better than the look of the future, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It looks a lot better. I think they should actually make another movie that happens, um, like even yeah, like before the Hunger Games, but like so I guess a prequel to the Hunger
I
Games, but
reckon
a
a
sequel
Haymitch
to
movie.
what?
I reckon a Haymitch movie, Woody Harrelson's character.
Yeah, that actually would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, to talk about that. Yeah, his Hunger Games. That would have been cool.
yeah,
Um,
or Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix would be cool. Um, but yeah, when it comes to uh the look, I actually when it because I watched it today, looks really cool. I like the look of the movie. It looks interesting. So that
It
might be
still
fun.
gives you like that Tim Burton vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the trailer?
I'm excited to see Peter
Mhm.
Dinklage's character
Oh, definitely. I think everyone's excited for Peter Dinklage. That's why
because if I
they got so
remember,
many.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be the game maker. I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. They said like, oh, he's the guy that created all the Hunger Games. But I mean, that's why Avengers Infinity War got so many dang tickets, like tickets sold, Peter
What I
Dinklage.
mean, because in the book of Ballad and Songbirds, there's snake mutts. So instead
Ooh,
of wolves and monkeys and sewer monsters in this one, it's going to be like snakes and stuff.
that's cool.
So it's going to be, I don't know,
Yeah.
different.
No, that actually is kind of cool because kind of sick and tired of those dang mutts. Yeah, I think we'll end it there. Valor or Zach, do you want to shout
ValourFilms.
anything out? What's up?
Uh, just feel free to follow me on Instagram, ValourFilms, and if you want some reviews and stuff.
Oh yeah, your Instagram. I'll make sure to
Um,
link that.
I'm on the road to 2K, 2000, so
Oh
it would
yeah.
be good if I can reach there. I'm nearly there, but maybe 3,000 more till I reach
Yeah,
it.
at some point you'll be able to make a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Maybe not on Instagram. You'd have to go on like YouTube or something, but you could
Patreon.
probably do it. Or Patreon, yeah. Patreon would be cool. You'd use that. Um but yeah, just check out my my things in the description below, and yeah, just let me know how you felt about, you know, Valor, Zach, in the comments below. Let me know if you'd like to hear from him again. I sure do.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast, and you'll see me next week talking to somebody else about something else. So yeah, just have a good day, have a good time, and see you next week.